shirt as I serve my brew. I'm cool with the work I do. Clock ticks in the world.
What is up guys, HOG Gaming here. Welcome back to another Clash Royale video. And I've got a really special episode for you guys today. It is a incredible Hog Rider deck featuring this absolute beast here, which is, he's called Nyle. He's 149th in the world with this deck. And you guys might be thinking like, this deck, it doesn't look like it's going to be that crazily strong, but obviously this guy is an absolute beast and I wanted to bring this deck to you guys. And what we are actually going to do today is go over a couple of replays of his. He's going to do a live game and then I'm probably going to do a live game. And before we do anything, I just want to shout out his clan. That's what he asked me to do. So if you guys can check out his clan and the Twitter that's going on there, the YouTube as well, Cast and Blast COC, that would be incredible. So obviously I've got the deck on my screen here, and you can see it's pretty much a Hog Cycle deck. It's 2.9 elixir. You've got the Hog, you've got the cannon for defending, Fireball and Zap, pretty essential with Hog Rider decks. And then you've got the Knight to provide a really stable defensive unit, as well as for going on strong pushes. The minions, really strong. You don't see them too often, so that's quite an interesting aspect of this deck. And then you've also got the Princess as well, to provide some nice splash and area coverage. I want to see how he uses the Princess. We will see that in the replays. And then he's got the Ice Spirit in there, obviously strong as always. So this first game is against a Graveyard Poison deck with Tornado in there. So obviously you know Tornado is a hard counter to Hog Rider. So let's go ahead and see how he deals with this deck. So we've got Nyle at the bottom and a guy from Nova Esports at the top. And Nyle is just going to cycle an Ice Spirit, which seems like a pretty decent play to make. Going to play a... he's obviously saying wow at the level 5 Night Witch. Is going to play a Princess in the opposite lane, I am guessing. That seems like the play to make. Yeah, that's what he's going to go ahead and do there. The other guy's got an Executioner coming at us. And also, it seems like Nyle doesn't mind wasting a little bit of elixir there. This looks like a pretty scary push coming at him, but there's some nice placement on the minions. Not really going to take too much damage considering what was going on. And there we go. Here comes the Knight for the counter push with the Hog Rider as well. And also, you've still got the Ice Spirit alive. The minions are still going as well. So, one minion did survive, but didn't quite make it through to the tower. He's took the elixir lead and the damage lead, so that was a really nice play. Spreading out his minions from the poison was obviously a great play there. So Princess is going opposite lane from where all the damage has been done. I'm guessing he wants to kind of keep it away from what's going on. So the thing I'm noticing here is that Nyle doesn't mind wasting elixir, because the cards that he has in his hand are so important for the way that he plays. I think he just wants to wait to see what his opponent does first. So obvious Knight on the Executioner, that's going to be great. Hog Rider and a Fireball coming in, I'm guessing. Yeah. So that looks like it's going to take out the Night Witch. Not quite. He's going to get one shot though. Princess in the opposite lane to do a decent bit of chip damage. Ice Spirit. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So the minions actually take care of the Night Witch, which was a very smart play because the minions would have died to the poison. And it looks like he's just going to go ahead with a Fireball. Pushes the Executioner to the side. Gets another Princess down. Doesn't quite get the Dark Goblin, but looking pretty good. So cannon at the back for the graveyard. It seems to me like this guy has a pretty hard counter to Nyle's deck. But Nyle's doing a great job here. He's got the Hog Rider snuck through. And bad Tornado play there from Al Maestro. And that wins the game. So held off the graveyard really nicely. The max Night Witch, which is just insane to be honest. So some really nice plays in there. So, Nyle says a good first play with this deck would be to either cycle a Princess in the back or wait for your opponent to make the first move and respond with a Hog on the opposite lane or a Knight to defend. So that's definitely interesting. Go with a Hog in the opposite lane or a Knight in the same lane. We're just going to check out this replay against A 3 Musketeer deck with Minion Horde. I'm guessing it's got an Elixir Collector and everything else going on that you'd usually expect from a, a Musketeer deck. So, first move of the game, we're going to go for an Ice Spirit again. That seems like a fairly logical move to make. And a Princess as well. Stacking up some Elixir with that Princess down. Just going to sit on Elixir just to see what's happening. Level 5 Bandit coming in. So interesting to see what he actually does here. I'm guessing he's going to Fireball. No, he's not going to go ahead and Fireball. He's going to get a nice cannon and Ice Spirit going on with some minions. And that's just going to be absolutely great. This Ice Golem probably going to get a bit of chip damage. I didn't really realise how much a level 11 Ice Golem does. But not too bad overall. Got a nice Elixir lead there for Nyle. So again, he's playing his Princess away from where all the damage is done. That seems like a key move to be making here. Just waiting for the opponent to make a move, and he's going to go in with a Hog Rider push. And a Fireball is coming in on the pump. Ice Spirit for the minions. And check it out, guys. He's almost taken down that guy's tower. Punished him pretty heavily, if you ask me. So obviously the Bandit is very annoying. And it looks like Nile's going to lose his tower. That was quite a nice Ice Spirit from the opponent and a Zap that took out the minions. But we're kind of resetting here, and it looks like the opponent is going to play 3 Musketeers at some point. But Nyle is going to keep the pressure up with a Hog Rider. And a Princess behind, so that's quite an interesting play. I didn't know whether that was going to be something that was worth doing with this deck. That's got to be a Fireball in there, I'm sure. Yes, that's some great Fireball value. The minions got incredible value as well. I'm noticing a bit of a trend here with his minions. He seems to be able to get some decent value out of them. And they do a lot of work. So we're going to see a Bandit and probably, yeah, a Battle Ram coming down from the opponent. So an Ice Spirit and the Princess and 2 towers is enough for the Battle Ram. So that's a nice Fireball. He's not really messing around with the 3 Musketeers. Another Princess down. So that's going to be absolutely great. And look at this, guys. He's protecting his Princess from the Bandit. Great minions in there. I'm sensing a theme as well with the minions. They are just really well played. And the opponent doesn't really have anything to deal with the princesses. So if you notice that the opponent doesn't have a log, that's just going to be absolutely great. So really great Ice Spirit from Nyle there. To delay the Musketeers. A great Knight and Princess from Nyle, which is going to protect his towers. And then I'm guessing he's going to go in with an Ice Spirit to the side and zap away the minion horde. And the Hog Rider gets the final shot. That was really, really great. So he says, against graveyard decks, I will always use the cannon and Knight on defense. They are not able to kill it with the poison, and its attack speed combined with the tower is able to mitigate most of the damage. I will generally use the Knight or minions to destroy the tank. Yeah, that makes sense. So, against 3 Musketeers, apparently it's an easy matchup. The main goal is to fireball their pumps and apply pressure when they do pump. In most cases, I will build up a Knight Hog push and support with a Princess as they drop a minion horde to defend along. Yeah, so that definitely makes sense. Get your Princess down just after you've started your push so that they put a minion horde down, and then it's going to be zapped away really nicely and you're going to punish them. Yeah, and always push the same lane as the pump. I'm sure I've drilled that home to you guys before. So that if you do actually take the tower, then you'll take the Elixir Collector as well and get some great value out of your push. And also the opponent will be down on Elixir and a tower, so that's pretty much going to be game over at that point. So, another tip would be against beatdown decks, always save your Knight for defense. And always go same lane with your Knight as a Golem or a Giant. And then apply pressure to the opposite lane with a Hog. And obviously defend with Knight and minions in the lane that your opponent is attacking. So a good trick with the knight and the minions obviously is to put the knight down first and then put the minions out of the way of any kind of splash damage. So it's kind of like a tank and spank. That's the term I've heard before for it. So you put your knight down and then you put your minions down and they're going to do a lot of damage to whatever the troop it is. The only case where he will go knight and hog at the bridge is against a P.E.K.K.A deck. He will wait for them to drop a P.E.K.K.A and then he'll go knight hog rider on the opposite lane, because obviously the P.E.K.K.A is such a huge counter to hog rider and it's 7 elixir as well, that you're going to punish them heavily with a 7 elixir push in the opposite lane that they're really going to struggle with. Okay, we are going to watch Nyle play a ladder game live. This is really incredible that he's actually going to do this for us. 151st in the world, and he's going to try and go into a ladder game for us. Okay then guys, we are going to watch Nyle play a live game on ladder. It's really high up, but hopefully he can pull off a win. Okay, so that was really nice, the Ice Spirit jumping across. Still going to get a decent bit of chip damage, but the Knight mitigated most of the damage there. So what I like about this play is he's going fairly passive. Okay, that's an interesting play. So the minions take out the princess, and then the zap comes in as well, and it looks like the minions are going to do a lot of damage to that tower on the right hand side. Wow, that was a really great play there. And a fireball coming in for the goblin barrel. Definitely interesting, but I'm guessing the elixir, the 1 elixir cost, plus, you know, the damage that you're not going to take on the tower is worth it. Great play there. So obviously the princess splashes away most of the goblins with the knight and the Ice Spirit cleaning up as well. So a problem Nyle is going to face in this matchup is the fact that he doesn't actually have a log for the goblin barrel, which means if the opponent can keep getting it down, he's going to get a lot of damage onto the tower. So Nyle has to find a way to kind of get around that and avoid taking too much damage. The opponent is going to have a rocket and probably an inferno tower for the hog rider. So that's something that Nyle probably knows and has to watch out for. So this guy is applying a lot of pressure again. But that's great there. The princess gets an extra shot. But the inferno tower's coming down. But that's not too bad for Nyle because it gives him +1 elixir. So I'm guessing a fireball is going to come in here. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'm guessing minions there. Yeah, really well played. So Nyle really needs to get some kind of a hog push going, because he did most of his damage with that first minion push. So the opponent is actually going into the opposite lane with the goblin barrel, which I'm just not really sure about. It seemed like he was doing great in that first lane. Okay, so that's unlucky with the minions. The hog rider goes in, but does not actually get any damage onto the tower. I'm guessing a fireball is going to come in again. Yeah, that's perfect. So even though he's taking a -1 trade every single time for that, the opponent is also taking a -1 trade on the hog rider. So because he knew the opponent was going to play the princess, he preemptively put down his knight, which I think is a really, really great play. Notice how he's not really going to go for the zap on the inferno tower. The opponent's going to go for a pretty crazy rocket, which is annoying, obviously. Hopefully he's going to be able to get something going on here. That's close. Oh my goodness, this is really, really close. Is the princess going to get the shot? Wow, that was so close. Oh my god. That is absolutely insane. I cannot believe we just recorded that. Wow. So that that was absolutely insane. I cannot believe that just happened. 2 elixir left, 2 HP left on his tower, and he takes it with the princess. So Nyle is now up to 5,999 trophies, really, really close to 6,000, 147th in the world. That was absolutely insane. I'm going to try and play now. Okay guys, so it is now time for me to show Nyle up on how to actually use this deck. No, I'm kidding. I'll see what we can get going. Hopefully we can get a win. This would be really good. Obviously a little bit nervous. Don't want to go too aggressive or anything like that. Probably shouldn't have split the minions at the back, but there we go. Gonna go for that over there. The princess coming in. Gonna get the knight down on the royal giant. So I've not really faced many royal giants recently, but seems like I did okay there. It wasn't great. I shouldn't have really let the archer lock onto my tower. Okay, so Elite Barbarian's coming in pretty scary. I need to get something going. He's going to have archers which will two-shot. Will actually two-shot my princess, which isn't great. What are we going to get going here, guys? I'm not entirely sure. Going to pressure the opposite lane with a Hog Rider and see what he's got for us. If the Elite Barbarians come down, which they do, that's actually going to be really, really irritating for us. As you know, they're really, really strong. Hopefully this princess can do a decent bit of work for us. So princess and Zap clears that up. And hopefully the princess in this lane is going to be good. Another princess coming down. Hopefully should clear up those archers. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. We're going to go in for a fireball. Catch a couple of those. Going to protect the princess. Get a cannon down for the royal giant. A princess. Ice spirit. Zap. Everything going down really, really nice. Cannon is taking out the archers. Okay, that's decent. So I'm a bit nervous, obviously not going too well. We're going to throw in a fireball. Hog Rider gets... Oh, doesn't actually get a shot, but that's not too bad. Minions might get a bit of damage. Cannon for the royal giant. Then we're going to go for an ice spirit and a zap. And I think we just need another fireball and a zap over there. But what we're actually going to do is throw down a princess, and it doesn't quite get onto the tower. But the Hog Rider is going to jump over and hopefully get a shot onto the tower. No, not quite, but we've got the fireball. And the zap to finish off the game. Good game. Oh dear. Wow. Alright guys, that is actually going to do it for today. So this has been the deck that we've been playing around with. Huge shout out to Nyle for coming over to this clan, showing some replays, playing an absolutely insane live game. He is so incredible, this deck. You wouldn't believe that this is a top 200 deck. If you learn, it just goes to show that if you learn a deck and you know how to use it perfectly, then it can work. So obviously shout out to his clan Fusion again. And I hope you guys have some success with this deck. I'm definitely going to get my minions up to level 13 and then probably go ahead and use this on ladder. That is the goal really. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching again. Nearly at 2k subs. Let's get there guys, and then we can get the face cam going on. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.